Good afternoon and welcome to today's ASI Association Online webcast. Today we're looking at email management. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Marla Nelson and I'm a marketing specialist here at ASI. Now our webcast today will run for under 1 hour, so we'll be finishing at or before 3 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Before we get started, I'll just go through some housekeeping matters and just ensure we're all up to speed with using the GoToWebinar system. So on the middle of the screen, you'll see the first slide of the presentation, and then on the right, there's a control panel. You can minimize that control panel down to a toolbar by clicking on the orange Grab tab arrow, and this will allow you to view the presentation in full screen. You can then click on that arrow to bring back the control panel when you need to. Now, everyone has been muted upon entry today to allow for clear audio, and we won't be opening up the lines, but we do welcome your questions and comments, so I'll explain how you can interact with us. So you can post your questions or comments at any time by using the question pane in the control panel. Just type your question in the comment box provided and then click on the send button. I'll be monitoring these and will address any questions and share any comments at the end of the main presentation today. And of course, if you're having any technical difficulties, you can also use that question pane and talk to me directly and I'll do my best to assist you. Today's webcast is being recorded and will be made available via the ASI Client Support Portal and our YouTube channel, and you'll also receive a copy via email afterwards as well. All right, that's all the housekeeping out of the way. It's now my pleasure to introduce our presenter today. On the line is Alison Rose. Alison is a trainer here at ASI and she's going to take you through today's session. So I will hand over to Ali to get started. Thank you.
Thanks, Marla. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month's webcast on email management. So the purpose of this webcast today is to introduce you to or refresh your knowledge of the email templates in Association Online. So this is in relation to automated and manually triggered emails that are sent as part of your notifications. What I'm not covering in this session is emails relating to the marketing module. So sending an email communication from marketing and your templates in marketing. So we're going to look at that at a future webcast, hopefully early next year. Okay. But in the meantime, today we want to look at these email notifications. So just a reminder that these webcasts aren't training sessions. Although we do cover a fair bit in this session, it's not a design training session, but more of an overview. But they are recorded for future reference, as Marla mentioned. But if you'd like further and in-depth training, feel free to follow us up and ask us for more information around that. All right, so what we're going to look at today are the email notifications, starting with, what are they, how they work. We'll look at what you need to do as an administrator around your email templates. We will discuss user notification emails versus admin notification emails. What are the differences there? And then I'm going to spend the second part of today's webcast looking at how to edit those emails. A lot of people are still unsure about how to edit them, especially if you're new to Association Online. But we'll look at what the default emails do, how to send out test emails, how to customize your emails for membership and events, what the email triggers are. There are some email triggers in the system that you may not be aware of, and how to view your email logs, the emails that have been sent. Okay, so there's a fair bit to cover today, but I'll start with email notifications and what they are. Some of you may know this, so sorry if I'm repeating myself to you, but just bear with me because I want to go through it in thoroughness, I suppose. So email notifications, they're emails that can be automatically or manually triggered from a number of sections in Association Online. So those modules or areas of Association Online, such as membership, events, commerce or orders, click community, awards, CPD, job listings, and so on. So this is a really important and integral part of your Association Online system, because you can see it comes from every module pretty much has email notifications. So how do they work? Email notifications are sent based on an action undertaken by a user or an administrator. So there's some examples here, such as signing up or renewing a membership. That will trigger an email to be sent. Registering for an event, creating a financial transaction, completing a CPD activity, or adding a post to a community forum. Okay, so that's just some really small examples. There's a whole lot more that you can do with your email notifications as well. So administrators, this is you guys that are online today, what you need to do to manage your email notifications. Review your default emails for starters. Which emails do you need to enable or disable? So you need to make those decisions. Then edit the content to suit your association and your wording. Send yourself a test email to see what it looks like. And if relevant, set a trigger, which is only ASI staff can set the triggers, and I'll explain those later on. So we're going to look at each of these in a bit more detail in today's webcast as well. Firstly, I want to show you how to access your email templates. There are two ways you can access your email notification templates depending on the module. The first one is under every module, there is a setup section. Usually, I think most modules have a setup section. And this is where you would find the default emails. Okay, it's the most common place that you will find the emails to edit. But there may also be an email section within the module itself. So I'll show you both of these. Okay. I'm going to use membership. I'm just going into my website, my training site, and I'm in the administration interface at the moment. I'm going to use the membership section because this is where a lot of your, and its most important emails come from, is around your membership. So to find emails to edit and enable, we go to members, membership, and setup. Okay, and here we find our default emails. Okay, these are our email templates. I'm just going to scroll down because there's quite a few in our membership module. The membership module has the most number of emails for you to access. Okay. Whereas if I go to commerce module, for example, there is a section within the module, not under setup, but it has its own section, email templates and log. So if you're not sure where your commerce or order emails are coming from, this is where you need to go. Okay, email templates and log. All right, so that's how we access our emails for every section. So under events, this is another one that's quite important. You'll go to setup and we have default emails listed here. Okay, these are your email templates. Okay. So let's now look first at our user notification emails. When we look at our email template pages, you'll see a list of user notification emails and a list of admin notification emails. The user notification emails are usually at the top of the list. They're the ones that are most important. They are the emails that are sent to the user, which could be a public person, a member, or a contact. Okay, so they always have the prefix that you know that these are going to a user because it says user notification. So my tip for you is that as a minimum, edit and enable the user notification emails before you do any admin ones. So if you're short on time and you haven't got time to get the admin emails done, just focus on the user ones to start with. Then you have the admin notification emails. So these are the ones that are sent to a nominated administrator. So you may have different administrators for different jobs. So maybe you can choose different administrators in the system as well. And they're prefixed with admin notification. What you need to do is edit a nominated administrator in the to user field. Okay, it'll say to user and you select a nominated administrator. So I'm going to go and show you that now in the system. I'm going to go back to members because this is the one we want to work with. So if we look at the members templates, you see there's a list of them on the left. You can see there's a whole bunch of user notification emails. And down the bottom are our admin notification emails. I'm just going to click on the first one, user applied for new membership. Okay, and you can see it says under the details tab to user. Okay, so if I took myself out of that, I'm there by default, but this is where you can apply the specified administrator. Now they do need to be someone that is in the database. Okay, so if they're not in the database, you need to go and add them in the people section first under staff or as a person, as a contact. And then you type in their name and then they come up in a drop-down list, okay, for you to select from. Okay, so that's how they'll be applied. Just typing in their name or their email address, for example, bigbird@ss.com, and leaving it like that, it won't recognize it. You need to make sure you do select it from the drop-down list of database users. Okay, otherwise it won't work. So that's another little tip for today as well. I'm just going to change that back to me. Okay, and then click on save. So as I mentioned, you can apply different administrators to different emails depending on the action and what that email does. All right, I'm going to explain that some more details about the emails in a moment. All right, so that's a little bit of the difference between the user notification, the admin notification emails. Now we want to look at how we edit those. So we're going to spend most of our time today on how to edit your email templates. Now, to edit your email templates, the first thing you would do is edit your default templates before your customized emails. And some of you may go, well, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is that in events and membership modules, you have some standard templates that you can use. They're called default emails. But those emails can be customized on a per membership or a per event basis as well. So I'll look at the customized emails shortly, but we'll just start with the default ones. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is decide, do I need to use this email? And if so, enable it. We have the details tab where you add all of your details, subject line, type of sending, your theme, and I'll go through that in a moment. You have to edit the HTML body tab. You have to edit the plain text body tab, preview, and then send yourself a test. Let's go and look at an example. So I'm going to use the example of one of these membership emails here. My recommendation, when you're deciding which emails need to be used and whether to enable or disable the email, is go through and check which ones you want to turn on first. And then once you know which emails you're going to use, go and edit only the enabled emails. If you're not using the other ones, don't worry about it. So it depends on your process. Okay, so it depends on each association. You have different uses for different email templates. Obviously, there's a standard trigger. There's something that triggers this email to be sent, but you might not have that action or that process in your association. So it's important for you to decide which ones you're going to use. So how do you know what this email does? Sometimes it's easy to tell from the label of the email template, like this one. User applied for new membership, live payment. So this is telling us that someone has gone on the website, they've applied for a new membership, and they've paid with their credit card. It's a live payment. Or user applied for new membership, non-live payment. So they've chosen to pay direct deposit or check or by invoice. In order to determine whether or not you need that email, have a look at there's a little question mark next to each email template, and this gives you a little pop-up that tells you what that email does and what triggers that email. So this one says it notifies a user that their membership application has been submitted and that their payment is pending. So usually you would need 2 different emails for those reasons, wouldn't you? You need one to say, thank you, we've received your payment and your membership application. Now it's waiting approval. And another one might be, thank you, we've received your membership application. It's now waiting approval and payment. This is what will happen next. So yeah, just go through that list and determine what ones you need. Then once you've decided you've enabled the ones you're using, go in and select, click on the email, and you can go through and edit the content. I'm going to start with the details tab. So we'll go across all of the tabs to go through that process. Okay, this tells me in the blue bar across the top, it notifies a user that their membership application's been submitted and that their payment has been received. Then I've got some fields here to fill in. The first one is to tick the box to make it an enabled, or deselect the box to make it disabled, not turned on. The from email address. Where is this email going to be deemed to be coming from? Now, the default email is determined from the overall global settings in your dashboard settings area. Whatever that email address is, it will be the default, but you can override that. I can say it will come from my email address, for example. The from name is also the default based on your settings in your global settings section, or you can change it. And the subject line. This is the subject line that displays in their email address, in their email when they receive it. Do you see we actually have some what we call placeholders already set in here. So organization placeholder is this organization. Membership type, it's pulling from whatever membership type I've applied for, and application received. So you can edit that subject line, and you have a bunch of placeholders on the right-hand side here that you can insert into your subject. In order to insert it, you click on the little blue arrows, the little blue box with the arrows in it, okay, and it will pop in that placeholder for you. Okay, so there's a bunch of them. Scroll down to see all of the placeholders. I'll explain a bit more about those in a moment. Then we have send type. So are we sending this email as plain text only, or HTML and plain text? Obviously, HTML allows you to use the WYSIWYG editor, okay, so the content editor, and you can add links and documents and things like that in the HTML format. Our recommendation is you send as both HTML and plain text. Some people's emails in a workplace are still not configured to receive HTML emails. So if they're not able to receive HTML, it will be sent as a plain text email. Okay, so they get the content still. Then we have the theme. Okay, so I've got a theme in here. So with your system, everyone's Association Online system, you should have an email theme as part of your design. If you don't and you need to update it, please contact ASI support to get the theme updated as well. Okay, but this is your design. This is going to add your header and your footer into your emails. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. And then you have an attachments as well. So you can attach a document like an agenda or a program or something to their email as well. Our recommendation as well is maybe don't add attachments to your default emails, because if you have, say, membership benefits of individual membership and you're using default emails, it's not your organizational membership would receive the same information. So maybe save your attachments for your customized emails. Let's go to the preview tab. Let's see what it looks like at the moment. On the preview tab, you have the subject line at the top. That's Association Online Gold Application Received. You have your HTML message. See, I've got my header at the top. So my logo, my lovely colors, my font, and my footer at the bottom. That's my email theme, okay, with those colors and the heading and footer. And scrolling down, we have the plain message. So this is what it would look like if someone was receiving the plain text message as well. So if I want to edit that, we need to go into both the HTML and the plain text body to edit the content so the content is the same. Okay, don't just edit HTML and not plain text, because some people still might receive plain text and you would have the wrong information in there. So HTML body, when you first come, you can see the WYSIWYG editor at the top. So your HTML editor to format. You can make it bold, you can italicize it, put dot points in it. Okay, add an attachment, add a link. You have a bunch of placeholders on the right-hand side of your screen as well to insert within your email content. Okay. And then it will pull the specific information from whatever the user is doing. So if they're applying for individual membership, it'll import individual into this membership type placeholder. You know you're in a placeholder because you've got a placeholder in there. They've got the little brackets around them if you guys didn't know that already. So it's like that mail merge. Okay, so hi to user first name. So to pop, hi Alison in there. Thank you for applying for full membership and adding your voice to our growing organization. Your membership will expire in so many days based on my membership expiration date. Here's your username and your potential password, or the link to set your password. We never actually give them their password. It is just a link to reset their password if they've forgotten. This is another one of my tips, is always every email in notification you send, so they've got the username and the link to set their password on the website themselves. Okay, you want your members to be self-managed and do it themselves through the website as much as possible. Give them the tools to do that. Okay, put the links into the member center, log into the member center, make that a link and send them to the member center. This is what you can see, this is what you can do. So you just need to go in, you just type in, whatever content you need to add in there and save. Something to be aware of is I clicked on save and it came up there. Let's go back to plain text body now. So that's once you make your changes in HTML, you go and make your changes in plain text. Just something to be aware of in plain text body. I don't know if you can see these little TPL ID equals membership type TPL. These are your placeholders, but because they're in plain text, it's adding the tag HTML code around the placeholder. Okay, so don't worry if you see that and you go, I don't know what that means. You don't have to know what it means. It's okay, as long as you understand that's what it's doing. It's adding the placeholder, but because it's plain text, not HTML coded, it has to put the codes in so it comes out correctly. All right, so if you're not sure what that means, if I just click on one of these placeholders, for example, if I wanted to say, here's your membership renewal date. Oh, click on the little blue arrows. Okay, so it's popped it in as a tag HTML code. That's what we call source code. All right, and that will still come out in the preview correctly. So if I go to my preview, I don't have any information to pull in there, so that's why it didn't come out. Let me save that. Okay, your membership. Oh, whoops. Let's try that again. Your membership renewal date is and save. Let's preview that. Your membership renewal date is, and then it popped in the date. It popped in a date, okay? So the TPL tags of the placeholders still make those placeholders work correctly. So if you're wondering what that is or what that means, now you know. Something else to be aware of in HTML body. Recently, probably about a month or so ago, our development team created some new placeholders for events, emails, and due to that fact, sometimes if there is an issue with your source code or one of your placeholders, When you first come into your email, you might find that your HTML body tab looks a bit like this. And you just go, what? Oh my goodness. If you don't know or haven't seen HTML code before, you might think, well, I don't understand what's going on here. It looks like gobbledygook. When I first saw HTML code, it looked like gobbledygook to me as well. Now you can sort of see that there's some content in around that. Thank you for applying for your membership type placeholder, etc. Okay. If you come in and see your email looking like this, just click on the source button in the HTML body WYSIWYG, and it will go back to your text, so your content that you're used to seeing. Okay, so don't worry too much if you do come in and you see it looking like this. Just click on source and it will go back. This was just a development that had happened recently, and it needs to go to source code for a certain reason. So just click on source and you'll be right. Awesome. So now you're happy with your content. Let's see what it looks like. You can go and send yourself a test email. So click on send test email tab, and it will automatically pop your details, those that are logged in as an administrator, in the recipient field. Now you can send it to someone else. So if I wanted to send Ravi an email, I can put his name in as the recipient and send test email. But it will come through in the email and say, Dear Alison, instead of Dear Ravi. Okay, so it will still recognize me as the administrator and the person in the email. Okay, so just a note. This is something important as well. A lot of people ask me this question in training when they're new to Association Online. We don't have a gold membership. Do you remember before we looked at the subject line, it said Association Online Gold membership has been applied for. And you go, we don't have a gold membership. What is it talking about? Something to note, default emails don't have any specific information to pull into the placeholders like the membership type. And so it uses hard-coded content in Association Online. What this means is that when you do preview a default email, it's actually going, hang on, I'm a default email. I don't know which membership type to pull information into my placeholder. Is it individual? Is it organization? Is it full membership? I don't know. So I'm going to revert just to a hard-coded membership type in the system. So if you look at my preview in my default email, it says, thank you, hi example. It doesn't even say my name. It says, hi example, thank you for applying for gold membership. Your membership will expire in 14 days. Okay. And in the plain message we had, your membership renewal date is 1st of January 2011. I think it's a little bit outdated, but that's our hard-coded data. So please don't stress if you're going, hang on, is this what it's going to come out like for real? Not necessarily. Actually, not at all. What we recommend when you are sending yourself a test email and you want to see what it really is going to look like, do that action yourself as a test. Register yourself for an event. Sign up for a membership. Renew your membership. Undertake the action that's required to trigger that email so you get true data in your email results. So we'll say, thank you for applying for full membership. Here's your new renewal date will be 1st of January 2019. Okay. So in order to truly test what the email content will look like, do that action yourself. You can delete it later. It's just a test. I use, as most of you know who have been in my training, I use fake people all the time to see what it's going to look like with my email address. Hi, Wonder Woman. Thank you for applying for individual membership. And it gets sent to me so I can see what it looks like. Okay, so that's another little hint and tip for you as well. So as I mentioned, start with your default emails because they are your standard emails across the whole module, but then you can go in and edit those emails on a per membership or per event basis. So you can customize them to suit the specific membership types or specific events. How do we do that? I'll show you in both membership and in events. So here's a list of our default emails. We see the standard emails across the whole module for every membership type and which ones are enabled and disabled. But what if you have an example would be an overseas membership type and you have to provide different content for that membership type? I'm going to go into the membership types under setup. Some of you I know already know this, but let's just pick a membership type. So click on a specific membership type and click on the emails tab at the top. Okay. And here's a full list, the same list of default emails displaying in the list in the membership type as well. Now you can see automatically in the list here, the status of the membership is enabled, and if it's a modified, the status of the email, and if it's modified or not, if it's pulling from the default email, or if it's a custom email, it will tell you, here we go, there's an auto renewal email that's customized for this membership type. So if I click on user applied for new membership, live payment, and I can make a change, let's say your membership benefits are event discounts, access to resources, whatever it might be. I'm just going to save. We make a change to a default email in the membership type. Now I can see that that email is now a custom email for this membership type only. Okay, so whenever someone applies for this membership with a credit card, this is the email they'll receive, not the default one. Now, if you don't like the changes you've made, you want to go back to the default email, it's easy enough. You click on the email and click on revert to default. And it says, are you sure? You know, any customizations you've done will actually be lost if you do this. I'm going to say, yes, thank you, that's great. I'll go back to default. Okay, so in events, this is another example. They're the only two modules that have default and customized emails, by the way. So under events, we've got under setup, default emails, and there's all your event emails. Okay. Now, in order to customize those ones, you need to click into an event itself and go to the emails tab at the end. Okay, and you can see the default emails or custom emails. So if you've got an agenda you want to attach to this specific email, or specific information you want to add into the email for this particular event that isn't in a placeholder, might be information that's not already there. So you need to go and add it as a custom email. I'm sure some of you have questions around that, so hopefully I'll be able to answer those at the end. Moving on though. There are some email triggers in Association Online, only a few, but some of you may wonder about it, and there's some important ones in here as well. This is why I needed to include it in today's webcast. So some emails need what we call a trigger to send them out, and these triggers are called scheduled tasks. So an example, some triggers that we have to set are things like around job listing articles. So when an article is added to a job listing, and we need to set the trigger so it sends out the emails around that. We have triggers for membership expiry warning emails. We have triggers for abstract reminder emails. Membership expiries. So we need to trigger that to make a membership expire and therefore trigger the email to be sent to say that a membership has been expired. And we have triggers for auto renewals as well. Now, the triggers can only, and scheduled tasks can only be set by ASI staff. So if you feel like your emails aren't sending, you're not sure why, contact ASI support and they can check those scheduled tasks and make sure that they're set for you. But just so you know what that means and what that looks like, I'm going to go into the members section. And being an ASI staff member, I can access admin setup and scheduled tasks. So I mentioned there's a few under membership. So there's one here saying send expiry warning emails. So we need to make sure they're active and they're set to run on a regular basis. So we can set them to recurring. What this means is the system's going to look for, at that particular date and time and recurring on a certain basis based on what we've put in here, what action needs to occur. So it doesn't actually send those emails every day. It looks for what emails need to be sent based on your settings. Okay, have you set up your membership expiry reminder emails to go out 30 days before expiry? And today happens to be 30 days before expiry, those emails will go then. But if today is 32 days before expiry, the system will just go, there's nothing to do for me today. Okay, I'll check again tomorrow. All right, so that's what we mean by recurring. If we set to recurring every day, that's generally how we set it up. Okay, so every morning it's going to look for what emails need to be sent and send those that are ready for sending. Now, this means pre-expiry emails and post-expiry emails. The second trigger here or scheduled task is expire memberships. So in order to make sure that the memberships do expire and the email is triggered based on that, your membership has expired, we need to make this active and set. This one's recurring every 12 hours. Probably doesn't need to be, every day would be fine. And there's another one in membership called process auto renewals. So if you use auto renewals feature, and you're automatically renewing and sending out an invoice, it will trigger that email to be sent. Okay, so that's what we mean by triggers or scheduled tasks. Email logs. This is another part of your email notifications. You have access to see a full list of emails that have been sent or that weren't sent. You can see email sending errors. You can see how many clicks people have on email links, how many times they've clicked, number of clicks on email links. You can resend an email from your email logs as well. And you can export data from your email logs. Let's go and have a look. There's a couple of ways that you can access your email logs in Association Online. One is, and this is the most common one, within the module itself, there is a section called email log. Okay, so the email log within each section will tell you all of the emails that have been sent, date and time that they were sent, or if they weren't sent, there's a big X next to it, and there might be an error, like these people actually aren't real, and their email addresses don't actually work. But this one worked. You can see Donald Duck's work, but it was my email address. That's why. Okay. You can search the email log based on a name. You can filter the log based on a particular email type, email template. You can filter the list based on errors, and this is a good way to clean up your database as well, or whether it was sent or not sent. Clicking on the recipient's name takes you to their profile page in the contact database, or you can click on the email type and view the email that was sent, and there's a resend email button down the bottom. Okay. I'll just have a look at this one. There's a resend email button down the bottom, and that's if someone contacts you and says, can't find the email, can you send it to me again? There it is. Okay, you can go and find them from the email log and resend it. Scrolling down to the bottom of the list, so usually a list of 20 records in one page, and you can go across to the next page if you need to find more information, or you can export the data into a spreadsheet as well. Okay, so if you want to run a report on all your emails that were sent or not sent, who opened, bounced, etc., you can export that data. So that's the most common way you will find, your list of email logs. In each email type, let's go into membership types. Let's look at one of our membership emails in here. Actually, not that one. That one doesn't have an email log because it's a live payment and this is a training site. Once an email has been sent, an email template's been sent, you can see there are two more tabs within the email template. there is a sent log tab. Okay, so again, you can see who's been sent the email, click on it, filter by errors or sent or not sent. And there's a sent report as well, so you can get a full graph table report or statistics report. I love this, and you can see these in the marketing module as well. I really love the statistics report because it tells you your percentage of opens. Out of all those that have been sent, what percentage of those have actually opened the email? Now, under each person's profile, let's actually go back into that email and look at the sent log. Not that. No, I don't want to use that one. Let's go to the email log. I'm going to go to Cookie Monster's profile. He's one of my favorites, as you all know. And I can go to his contact log tab and see a list of all of his specific emails as well. Okay, these are the emails that the system has sent him. And you'll be able to see whether they were sent, opened, when they were opened, how many clicks he's clicked on, and what errors are there if there are any. Now, obviously, Cookie's email address isn't correct, so it didn't really send, but you get the gist. And again, from here, I can click on the email, open it up, and you can click on the resend button down the bottom. Another example of ways to access an email log, I'm going to use the CPD module. There is no email log within the module itself. There's no section sitting within the module, but if I go to setup and I go to emails, okay, here's my email templates, and underneath that we have an email log section. So if you can't find the email log, this might be where it is. I can click on view email log and see the full list of emails from there, coming from CPD module. The last thing I want to show you is there is a full system-wide email log as well. Under reports, where your Google Analytics would sit, we have a section called Sent Emails. This is your full delivery log from every module in the system. So you can actually filter the list based on the module. Okay, is it from community, CPD, contacts, e-marketing? Where do these emails come from? You've got full message reports, comparison reports, total reports. Okay, there's a whole bunch of reporting options you can filter on and have graphs and statistic formats. It's never ending. There's a lot you can do in here based on your messages sent from the system. Okay, so some of you may not have known that those full email logs are available to you. All right, so that's everything I needed to show you today as an overview of the email notifications. So just in review, we looked at the overview, the difference between user and admin notifications, how to edit your emails, what the default emails do, how to send yourself a test email and what it means when you're getting something saying gold membership instead of your membership types, how to customize your emails, what the email triggers are and how they're set, and email logs. I love that little Dory. I'll just send myself a quick email. Oh, look, an email. It's cute. Oh, I do that too. I've got an email. Oh, yeah, no, I sent that myself. So, further resources. I have created an email notification user guide for you guys. So you know after today, if you go, oh, how do I do that HTML body tab and what do the placeholders do again? You can go into our client support center, click on Association Online User Guides, and it's under there. I'll just go and show you that. Wrong spot, there we go. So when you go into our client support center, you log in, click on Association Online. Okay, and under the user guides, there's email notifications. Right, and you download the email notifications document. All right, this gives you full details of everything we've gone through today, but in more detail, I suppose. Okay, so before I go to questions, just letting you know our next webcast is the 11th of December at 2 p.m. and that's Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We are covering website CMS management, so some real tips and hints around how to add web content and edit your web content on your website. Our 2019 schedule I will start working on shortly with Marla, and we'll get that out to you before the next webcast as well. Great. So Marla, I'm going to hand back to you to address any questions we've received.
Awesome. Thank you, Alison. A few questions posted, but just a reminder, if anyone does have any questions, just to open up the control panel to the right of the viewer window, type your question in the box provided and click on send, and we will read them out. So just going back a bit, Ali, a question from Sandra. She says they don't have an email theme. How do they go about setting one up?
Thanks, Sandra. That's why I wanted to address that in today's webcast. To go about setting that up, just log a support ticket. There would be a cost to develop that. You'd need a design, so whether it's just your logo at the top, a footer. So, and this is relevant to those that want to change their email theme as well. We just have to put a quote together for you on how long it would take us to implement it. If you have your own design, great. If not, if you just got a simple header like a logo or something you want to add in, attach that to your support request as well, so we know roughly how much it will cost and how long it will take us to get that implemented for you. Thank you.
Okay, question from Miller. Can you tell us where to find the emails in the conference module?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Under events, those using conference, it's under setup as well, setup emails. Now, it's actually that I didn't address the conference emails because they are older functionality. They haven't been updated with like an email theme, but I think a lot of you are still using a conference module. So if you are, they are slightly differently managed. So you do need to go in and edit some content in there. Okay, you do have a HTML editor though in your conference emails, and you can go and add an image to your email. So you could add a header and footer yourself if you wanted to make it look a bit prettier than the plain email that it comes out as. But my tip around that, if you are adding a logo at the top or a nice banner, if you've got a conference image already, just make sure it's no bigger than 600 pixels in width. Okay, 600 pixels in width means that's the size of the email that it comes out. Okay, so there are conference emails, but they are the older functionality. That's why I didn't address them today. But it's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up, Miller. I hope that answered your question.
Thanks, Ali. That looks to be all the questions for the moment. There was a couple of comments, though, that I just thought I'd share with you. One person said that they asked the same question about the gold membership, so they're not alone, obviously, on that one. and another participant has said that they've really enjoyed the webcast as they send all their renewal emails out via the marketing tab. They didn't know they could do it from the membership area. So that's great that they joined us today.
Fantastic.
So that looks to be all the questions for today. So we will wrap it up there. Just a quick question from Peter. Will there be another webcast on the email marketing module?
Yes, Peter, we will do it next year. We haven't booked our schedule for 2019. That's on my to-do list. But yes, I am aiming to hopefully get onto that early next year. So yes, I am aware that a lot of people do want to look at those marketing templates as well. So we will cover that early next year. Thanks, Peter.
Awesome. Okay, well, that concludes our webcast today. So thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your afternoon to learn a little bit more. And thank you, Alison, for a great webcast. So just finally, when we ask when you disconnect today from the webcast, that you take a few moments to just complete our little webcast survey that will pop up on the screen. It's just a couple of quick questions that will provide us with some great feedback on hopefully great feedback about the webcast program. So thank you in advance for your feedback on that. And as Ali mentioned, our next webcast is on the 11th of December, so look out for details in your inbox for that shortly. That concludes our webcast for today, so thank you again and goodbye for now.